Today, I'm happy to be joined by Craig Copeland, the mayor of Cold Lake, and he's here today to talk about how Cold Lake, alongside Bonnyville and the village of Glendon, are going to be hosting the 2026 Alberta Winter Games. And so, thank you so much for being with me today, Craig.
Well, thank you for having me.
And what was the process like for you, as well as the rest of Cold Lake City Council and the members of Bonnyville and Glendon, in order to get you guys the bid to be the Alberta 2026 Winter Games hosts?
So what we created up in our region was a regional sports committee, and so it's made up of four partners: Village of Glendon, the City of Cold Lake, the Town of Bonnyville, and the MD of Bonnyville. And so we come together, and one of the ideas was to make a pitch for the 26 Winter Games. And so we were in dialogue with the staff from Alberta Sports Tourism, and dialogued on that, and worked with them on possibly hosting the 26 games. We were successfully announced yesterday. We're really excited, and we can showcase what we have up here in the northeast part of the province.
And so one of the things mentioned in the news release was how big of an economic opportunity the Alberta Winter Games can be for the host communities. So just tell me a little bit about that and how exciting it is for Cold Lake as well as the other host communities.
There's 2,000 or so athletes that will come to the area, and they'll actually the athletes stay in the schools, which is kind of unique. But the parents and all of the different fans that will come to the Winter Games will be all staying in hotels. So of course, for the hotel business, for the caterers that'll feed the athletes, for the restaurants, the gas stations, of course, and just the shopping centers, it's going to be a big economic boost for about 4 days. And so certainly, sports tourism is another angle to look at in trying to bring people to your area. And this is going to fit in really nicely. Probably about 250 to $500,000 will be spent over 4 days in the area. And so we're really excited for the opportunity and really appreciate the province. One of the things that didn't kind of get overlooked yesterday was the province made a significant contribution increase for the city, for us to hold the games. And so it's going to really help a long way to make the games affordable.
And while it's still 2 years away from the 2026 Alberta Winter Games, what is the planning so far looking like for you guys right now, as well as just where you think you're going to be having some of the events hosted between the three communities?
There's about 18 or so sports involved. Some of them will be in gymnasiums like judo, fencing, and badminton, archery. So we're going to go up to Grand Prairie. There's a few of us going up to Grand Prairie, the Winter Games for this weekend, and we'll really get to see what kind of facilities they're using, and then come back and sort of assess what we have here in the area, and then sort of decide where certain activities will be located. But we've got lots of time. Our big push will be getting a games manager hired and get that in place. And then, of course, start looking for the volunteers. This will not be successful without the volunteers in the Lakeland area, that's for sure.
And finally, Craig, tell me a little bit about how excited you guys are for the Alberta 2026 Winter Games and when they are going to be taking place.
Yeah, they'll be in February, middle of February, right around that whole Family Day weekend, which is already a busy weekend in Bonnyville, Cold Lake. This will just add to it, but it's going to be exciting. And you know what it is for our athletes that are in our zone, an opportunity now to just travel right to the area and be their home turf. So it's gonna be great. We're gonna be looking for a lot of people to be involved in the process.
Thank you so much for all the information, and we look forward to covering the Alberta 2026 Winter Games when they come to Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and Glendon.
Thank you for having me.